Good morning, everyone. It's still cold here. Tomorrow, it's gonna warm up. I was gonna start out this with something completely different, and then I just saw this song. Oh my gosh, I've heard this song before. I'm telling you what, these songs out there now that so many groups all over the world, they're just singing about God and Jesus and yes, 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 and the songs are so beautiful. It's just yeah, I don't know why anybody would listen to anything else anymore. And that reminded me of something. So sometimes I watch reality shows just to again, it's like observing people. Yeah, how much reality are these shows really when it comes down to it? And I like the competition ones. So I watched Glow Up. Okay, that's with makeup and stuff, right? Why would I watch that? Yeah, This is something where this isn't just about makeup. This is about artistry as well, right? Yes, and on how you use the human body as a canvas. In this case, it was mainly just the face and part of the chest and stuff, and the hair. And it was interesting, and I've seen this in other shows. Uh, so, no doubt, right now and this time, you're going to have the panels that choose the people that will be on the show. In this case, I think it was 10 or 12. See, I can't even remember that. Okay, we have to. They're not really looking at who's really the best in this, who is really, already there to really make a splash on the show. No, it has to be also, it's not just about the art, right? It's supposed to be about, the creativity of the people, right? Yes, their talent, the talent that they have, that then, okay, they chose, rather than just a canvas, or a piece of paper or whatever, and then they chose what? The human face. Okay, all right. What can one do with all that? Yeah. And so instead of, I could tell right from the start, they chose, well, we have to have a certain amount of these people. Okay, I'm just going to say white, and then we have to have a certain amount of black. Then we have to also include who, and of course, okay. Yes, see? All right. Okay, that's fine. Okay, sure. It wouldn't be so apparent if this wouldn't happen every time that I'm going to tell you what I've noticed with these shows. Okay. So it starts out this, and everybody, of course, gives a little blurb about their, why they're doing this and how they got into it and I don't know what. And there are always the ones that should never be there, got in there because of now all inclusive stuff. This and that has to happen. Start up with okay, the pity parties, the victim of whatever they were, this and that, and I don't know what. Yes? Okay. Let me ask you, have you not ever been the victim of some kind of whatever, either bullying or exclusiveness or, hey, I didn't do that, rumors, gossip, and I don't know what else is out there? Okay? Yes? You never been a victim of that in one form or another? What? As in your childhood. I'm sure everybody's got some things to complain about, right? Yes? Surely, right? Yeah. But if you make it on a show like that, obviously your life didn't go so bad, okay? Because you are where you were at. So there was a lot of good things happening. All right. So sure enough, they get their first assignment, this, that, and right away, there were about three of them that were very apparent, who had statements to make. This wasn't about their art. This wasn't about their talent. It was about making statements about who they were, what they represent, this and that. And guess what? Because that was more important to them rather than this is my chance to glow, to show what I can do, the talents that I was given, and how I developed them, how I found the joy in that. Rather than doing that, and follow the brief, follow what they were actually looking for, they had to make their, as I said, what were they there for? Why were they chosen? Because they were so good, because it ended up, they were the ones who fell out right in the beginning. I have to say, I had to give it to the judges, I had to give it to the people there. They stuck with what the show was about. They really did. They really did. And they also called some out and say, okay, I get your story. And it's a moving story, this and that, but it's not what we asked for. This is not what we asked for. You did not incorporate your statement in the brief and then executed it according to that. Yeah. So, of course, with all this in the show, if you did really well and you were the best one, then you also got to work with some really famous people out there with magazines. And, of course, they're looking for what? What they need, not what you need. Right? Or what, okay. And so again, so I watched this whole thing, and in the end, turned out that as I said, the judges were great. And the people who were there also every time, in every episode, the special guests, to judge or to give advice on how this or that or what they needed in their magazine or their virtual thing or this or that. Very good. They stuck with, this is about your art. This is about what you can bring to the table of what we need when it comes to my company, my certain venues, whatever they had, where things like this with makeup and the face and this was part of what they're doing. So that was great. That was great to see. There was no bias. There was nothing going on. There was no favoritism, nothing. And the thing is that the criticism that they would give them, constructive criticism, was always, we want to see what you can do, not what outside influences are telling you, or what you think now as the victim of this or that. That's not what we want. We understand, but that's not what we want. We want to see your talent, what you really can do, and how you can excel with your talent. Right? I found that really interesting. As I said, watching, and everyone can go, that's the next one to go. This is that was the, nope. Every time. And it's sad. It was sad to watch because there was a couple of them. I thought, they are, even though, you saw through all the stuff that they had attached to them. And again, from the outside world, had nothing to do with their self, really. They thought it did, but I could tell it didn't. There was these just wonderful personalities underneath. Sadly, they caged themselves with the agendas of others. They did. That was not freedom. And so they weren't able to break out of that cage and just let their self shine, right? With the gifts that they had in their hands to create and truly be their self, show their self with the directions given on what the people who had created the show and the people that came as guests, who then gave out these contracts and stuff to work with them, needed. The ones that did follow, oh, you could tell they were excelling. They got better. They got, there was more, coming out of their own self. And the pieces were amazing. They were amazing. So yeah, sadly, yeah, even though I look at, as I said, I look at the person as the person, not all this other outside stuff that they have had attached to themselves, and now that's what they want to be heard. That's what they wanted to show, and it failed every time. It failed every time. Okay, every time, to the point where then they even got rude, rude, and yeah, well, then tried to make excuses. Well, that's not how I meant it, or this or that. Yeah, you did, and it failed. And now you're looking at what? Your cookie just crumbled. Not because of where you are, who you are around, because of your own self. The cookie crumbled. Sad to see. Interesting? Yeah. Well, anyway, so the girl, in the end, there were two girls, right? And the one that won, yep, either one would have been fine with me. One of them was, again, I'm not the judge there, was a little better. It was a very tough decision for them to make. But my opinion, yep, that was a good show to stay true to what the show was about, what they were requiring from people, right? Yes. And on how you can shine as an artist, right? Without. Yeah. All I can say to people who want to do that, don't go into a show like that with your pity party. That's all I have to say. Because when it comes down to it, everybody's got a pity party out there. Yes? So, let your talent shine, right? Yes? Make the greatest and best out of it. Yeah, use your own heart to mind, regardless. Yes? Because there is a reason why people are given talents like that. Oh. I made the best, absolute best dinner last night. Never had eaten this before. It was so good. Oh my! Oh, maybe I'll tell you more about it. This every time I made a chili about a week ago. Never made chili like that before. A secret ingredient, yeah. It was so good. It's the best chili I've ever eaten, and I'm not a big chili fan, otherwise. But oh my gosh, it was so good, and I thought that's the best chili I've ever eaten. I made it right. Yes. Okay. Of course, not following a regular chili recipe. And I thought to myself, I've just said that about my last chili too. Oh, we can keep excelling. If we do things, we keep excelling. Yes. Well, one thing that I do is cook here, right? Yes. Okay. Oh, make the best salad too. Oh my gosh. I had all greens from the garden, spinach from the garden, young radish leaves from the garden, radishes, cilantro. Then my cilantro is growing like crazy. Put some cilantro in there. And then I made my own vinaigrette with it, with my peach vinegar, which is just, oh my gosh, that vinegar came out so good. And it was, I ate the salad, and I'm not big, again, the stuff you buy in the store, it's like, yeah, you chop it in, and I chop it in, and I'm not excited. I eat it, but, oh, it's salad, it's good for you. I'm not sure about that. I ate that salad, that most everything already came from my garden, okay? It was so, okay, the cilantro, but also the spinach, the radish leaves. It was so flavorful, so flavorful. It was like eating just this. You could tell while I could tell while I was eating it. It was just, oh, I had to go and get another bowl. I ate 2 bowls. Loved to eat it. It was like, oh, what is that? There's something about pure unaltered food in nature. Grown how it's supposed to be grown. There's just something about food like that. It nourishes. Yes? Yeah. All right. Okay. So here we are. This is today is the 4th, tomorrow's the 5th. So we got 2 more days where I'm going to openly read this. Then I'm going to continue this condition privately on my own. But maybe I'll change my mind later on. Okay. Celestial condition. Established kingdom on heaven on earth. I was a blessed child. Peace in mankind. Care and love for every dependent child. Peace. Every child feels secure, which reflects cause and effect in a child's life. Peace. Every child eats. Peace. Every child is warmed in cold times. Peace. Understanding a child's growth in troubling times. Then to guide the child to attain harmony with peace. I am peace as a father, as a mother, as a son, as a daughter of God. Peace, to become the best I can be for every child. Repentance, knowing every child is deserving of peace. Prayer, knowing every child comes first. Restored, conditions are fulfilled when every child is loved and cared for. Death separates us from our earthly path to attain peace. Our taught descendants are the future. The change of lineage, God's lineage in action. The true cause and effect in a child's harmonious and happy life. I am an adult, ashamed to ask for anything from my heavenly parents for myself. If a child on earth needs my prayers and conditions greater than I, peace will happen when peace can be found in every child. I will be less than any child that suffers due to mankind's unkindness. Spirit world will hold us all accountable, regardless. Remember that. So, as I started out with that story, right? Yeah, is that now to criticize this? Well, there's going to be people looking at it like that. What did I just read? Why did these people, young people, why did they not win? Oh, well, that's because there were better ones. I don't think that's what it was. Why did they not get farther in the show? Oh, because they were, okay. I don't think that's true. So, regardless on how you want to be out there, what you want to, okay. Sadly, then people are compromising on going much farther with what was given to them at birth. Yes? So, to alert young people to that, is that wrong? Because, as I say, it's not just about talk. I saw that in action. And sadly, people who have, they should, why could they just not stay away from all that stuff and just show their talent? Sad. It wasn't that, yeah, no, it's sad. Sad. All right, let's get going here. We're in Deuteronomy 8. The ordeal in the desert. You must keep and put into practice all the commandments which I enjoin on you today. Enjoin again. That's it. Simple word, but enjoin attached to you. Okay. So that you may survive and increase in numbers and enter the country which Yahweh promised on oath to your ancestors and make it your own. Remember the long road by which Yahweh your God led you for 40 years in the desert to humble you, to test you, and know your inmost heart, whether you would keep his commandments or not. Did you guys just hear what I read? What did I say of the people in that show? Wow, that's interesting. Right there. And again, we could understand this different, but I feel like with whatever I share beforehand, somehow then again we're finding our way through the maze. Where are truly God's words in here? Right? Where are they anchored? And here it is. If you oh wow, I'm going to read this again. You must keep and put into practice all the commandments which I enjoin on you today, so that you may survive and increase in numbers and enter the country which Yahweh promised an oath to your ancestors and make it your own. Your own, remember? Not somebody else's agenda. Remember the long road by which Yahweh your God led you for 40 years in the desert to humble you, to test you, and know your inmost heart. Whether you would keep his commandments or not. He humbled you. He made you feel hunger. He fed you with manna, which neither you nor your ancestors had ever known, to make you understand that human beings live not on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of Yahweh. The clothes on your back did not wear out, and your feet were not swollen all these 40 years. Learn from this that Yahweh your God was training you as a man trains his child, and keep the commandments of Yahweh your God, and so follow his ways and fear him. There was another young lady in there. Oh my gosh. She was the gem of the show. I wanted her to win so bad, really, when it came down to it. But there was one problem she had. She was so meticulous and slow and created amazing things that were almost never finished. And that was a big no-no. Yet, she managed to get way into the show, and again, she came from a completely different background than what she was doing now. She was a scientist, smart, amazingly smart woman, and had this just beautiful. She was just beautiful inside out, and there was this one thing, right? This one, and you could tell, though, that she was very, very God-centered. Yes, she wasn't afraid to let people know. Not in a, statement kind of way. You could just tell that was a part of her that was very subtle. Yes? Yeah. And her work was amazing. It was absolute. That was literally just, you could tell this, what came from inside out from her. Yes? Yeah. With that great foundation that she just had in life. Yes. Her work that she had done on herself, right, as well. Yes. Pretty amazing. Okay. All right. But here, so there was that one thing. Girl, just she needed more time. Okay. Everybody needs a little more time. That's okay. Yeah. Learn from this that Yahweh your God was training you as a man trains his child, and keep the commandments of Yahweh your God, and so follow his ways and fear him. All right, very good. That has to be put in there. The promised land and its temptations. I guess what I would rather see than fear is respect. Right? Respect. Respect God. Right? Respect God. When you respect God, then you want to follow the commandments. Yes? By now, the people of Israel should have experienced the love of God as well. Not just, okay, do this, do that, and if you don't, but they should have by now experienced God's love to his people when it comes to all of it. Yes? Oh, well, there's the difference again. Why are we following things? Why are we doing certain things? Why are we not doing certain other things? Yes? So respect rather than fear. And so follow his ways and respect him. The promised land and its temptations. There you go again. But Yahweh your God is bringing you into a fine country, a land of streams and springs of waters that well up from the deep in valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley, of vines, of figs and pomegranates, a land of olives, of oil, of honey. Okay, we happen to know that's not what God told them, though, right? Yes? Because we also know that when they sent out to all them guys, the leaders of the tribes and clans, to go check out the land, that's exactly what they brought back. Hey, guess what we all found? Yes? They discovered that. Oh, yes. But one could say again, I said, a land where you will eat bread without stint, where you will want nothing, a land where the stones are iron and where the hills may be quarried for copper. You will eat and have all you want, and you will bless Yahweh your God in the fine country which he has given you. Be careful not to forget Yahweh your God by neglecting his commandments, customs, and laws which I am laying down for you today. When you have eaten all you want, when you have built fine houses to live in, when you have seen your flocks and herds increase, your silver and gold abound, and all your possessions grow great, do not become proud of heart. Do not then forget Yahweh your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the place of slave labor, who guided you through this vast and dreadful desert, a land of fiery snakes, scorpions, thirst, who in this waterless place brought you water out of the flinty rock, who in this desert fed you with manna unknown to your ancestors, to humble you and test you, and so make your future the happier. Beware of thinking to yourself, my own strength and the might of my own hand have given me the power to act like this. Remember Yahweh your God, he was the one who gave you the strength to act effectively like this, thus keeping then, as today, the covenant which he swore to your ancestors. Be sure if you forget Yahweh your God, if you follow other gods, if you serve them and bow down to them, I testify to you today you will perish. Like the nations Yahweh is to destroy before you, so yourselves will perish for not having listened to the voice of Yahweh your God. That's it, of 8 already. I saw, we got the doomsdayers out there again, guys. Beware. And they're very convincing in some ways. No doubt. And the people, because you don't know what else to do anymore, right? Well, what did I do to begin with here? When I start with the show, what I saw and how I feel about it and how sad it is that, okay. There is ways to teach people out there. Can we do that? Yeah. Here, the doomsday. Oh, Jesus said in the last days, this and that. I don't know what. If this is, okay, this is all what's been coming true. Yeah, you go back far away in history and it's all true there too. Done. Yeah. How one of them says, and the technology, this and that. I'm going, how would Jesus have known about that? Where did that come from? And, yeah, the last days. Yeah, that's when we're going to be in the last days. Okay, what does that mean to people, the last days? The destruction of earth, right? We're gone. Done. And it says, make sure you're not going to be left behind. Be left behind where and how and who? Okay, so here it is. It's in the New, coming from the New Testament. I didn't go check out if Jesus said all that. Yeah. As I said, the technology thing, I don't know. I'm not going to take that serious. Because that's one thing that is in the future. And nobody can predict the future, not even our Father in heaven. Our heavenly parents can't predict the future either. You know why? Well, because as I said, I can never predict ahead of time. I'm going to make chili today. Oh, yeah? How are you going to make it? I don't know yet. Right? Oh, then discovered. A new recipe for chili. Oh, yum. Last night or yesterday, I made pork loin, cut pieces, and I just completely, you guys wouldn't even, so I dipped them, took the pork chops, and took a couple of eggs and some creme fraiche and mixed it up, dipped the pork chops in. Then I laid them on a dough that I made, a self-rising dough. Okay, so it has baking powder, not yeast in it. And I made a dough, and I put all kinds of it. One of the main things that I put in was dill. Okay, I thought, I bet you that goes well. Then I ended up making rice with it too, just a little bit. And I put mushrooms inside of on top of the pork loin pieces. And then I folded it together. Yes. And then I put it in the oven. And then in the end, I just put a little bit of cheese over top too. Whoa. It was so good. That's the first time I've ever made it like this. So it's like, I wonder, that's when you have to do, even as a cook, your research. How fast is that pork loin wrapped up like this going to cook? And how long is the dough going to take? And how is that going to, it's a science. That's science. I'm telling you, cooking is science too. And the pork was well done. It was just a little bit on the dry side, just a little bit, okay? But it was really close to perfection. Yeah. And it was so good. It was so good. So when I started that, did I already know exactly what the end product was going to be like? No, I didn't. When Jesus talks about, if he does, I don't know, maybe we'll get to it, like this guy said, talk about technology and how that's going to be a downfall for us, this and that. How would he know that ahead of time? Because, again, so he already knew who exactly was going to invent what, this and that, I don't know what, and it was going to go in the wrong direction. Oh, wait a minute. What does it say in Deuteronomy 8? I'm going to give you all this. You're going to build fine houses. You're going to do so. There is a visionary kind of thing on what the riches that then the Israelites will have in this country that that God's going to give them, that's flowing with milk and honey. So that's bad. He predicted, beware, don't forget about me. Yes, beware, don't forget where you got all that from. Well, wouldn't that be the same thing with anything else being invented? Beware. when you start to gain greater knowledge and you start to build and invent things and this and that for more comfort of the people, just beware, don't forget about me. Let me be a part of it in a way, so that things go all in a great direction. Always of what? What did it say in the end? Okay. Here's another one. So, what is this guy doing? This preacher, whatever he is, predicting, I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Okay, put the fear into people to find to Jesus and to God. That's how you truly. No, that's a fake. That's a fake way of then showing respect and being humble and fear. You do things out of fear, they're not true. They're not going to be true. Know the consequences of some things and fear that. That's okay, not going to go there. I've got enough to deal with in my life. I don't need extra stuff. Right? Be aware. Right? Fear is also be aware. Right? Beware. Right? Yes? Anyway, so the last days. Don't be left behind. Okay. All right. Again, was this guy listening to God? Did he read the Bible? We got the rainbow, don't we? What did God promise? And what did he say, Nate? He said, let me keep my promise. Together with the people. God just has to stand all by himself all the time. Huh? Children out there just leave their parents once they got what they wanted from the parents. Leave and never say hello again. Don't call this, that. How disrespectful. How unfilial. Oh, what? Because you had a few bad days in your childhood? You don't get to do that. That's not okay. And you don't just get to shovel God out of your life either. Like that. Yes? So, this guy, instead of, yes, it's the last days, and yep, everything's going to go, and we're in those days, because Jesus said, if once all this starts to happen, which has already happened anyway, a long time ago, it's already all been happening. Right? Oh, but now it's worse, is it? Is it? I think I said that yesterday. Is it? So much worse. Or more apparent just now. It's all coming out into the open. Isn't that a good thing? I'd say that's a good thing. Because then you can really work. Say, okay, we need to work on this. This is not okay. Yes? But to just decide that, well, we're just going to assume God's going to break his promise because this is all happening now. You just shoved God out of your life. Let him stand alone with his promise. What did it say, Nate? Let me keep your promise with you. God's literally pleading with the people. Gave it all to you, took care of you. Now please, make sure I stay in your life. Let me be a part of it. And that, my dear friends, is exactly one of the reasons God created Earth, the universe, human beings, so he could share the greatness of his being with all of us. Pretty amazing, isn't it? That's too fantastic. I think that would make a great movie. It's too fantastic. Well, time will tell, will it not? I can 100% assure you that the world will not end. The last days isn't what people make it out there. I think one thing that anyone that has an addiction, this or that, that they just want to get out of. Some people just like stuff like that. That's that. Until there's absolutely nothing that will have them break away from it, uh, and not search for it immediately again as soon as they're not under supervision anymore, not on okay. But the ones who really, really want to do that, real said, oh, I wish I've never started that. I wish I got to get out of this. I tell you what, there's something that you can just sear into your heart. This is my last day of that. The last day. I'm done. This isn't just my last day. This is also a new beginning. My last day of what has caused pain and destruction in my life and others' lives around me. This is the last day of that. And this is also the first day of something better that I have to give for the rest of my life. So, I can't help it. The doomsday sayers out there, then you have given up. Don't give up. You don't get to give up. I listen to that and going, I just wish where's my fly swatter? Slap, slap, slap on the mouth. I got children. And now I have grandchildren. How dare you? How dare you presume the position of God? How dare you? I know better. As God, my heavenly parents believe in me, I more so have to believe in them. You got that? Done. Yes. You want to call someone them and they? Oh, guess who that is? Our heavenly parents, father and mother. That's them and they. Well, there you go. Great finish. Thanks, guys. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I will talk to you another time.